could decide the game.
4th and goal. They're going to snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws caught. Foles, touchdown.
What a pass to MB! My goodness! Posterizes Baines and the foul!
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss! Struck him out! The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions!
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Phaithful Phanatics show. As always, I am your host, Dylan Davis. You can give me a follow on Twitter at DylanJD98. And the gang is back together today as my, all-time co-host here, Matt McGinty. Give him a follow on Twitter at Matt_McGinty. But a former Phaithful Phanatic himself, you're going to see him appear a decent amount over the course of the season and on this show. George Ryder, give him a follow on Twitter at _George Ryder. And as always, the Phaithful Phanatics are brought to you by DSM Media. So, guys, tap into DSM Media on Twitter at DSM_media. Give us a follow and a like on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube account. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, whatever you want to do. We're on all social media platforms, and that's where you'll find all of our content. Today, guys, first of all, sorry if everyone wanted to come out and hang out with us yesterday at the open tailgate. Weather did not allow us to do so, or I don't know, lack thereof weather allowed us to do so. The Eagles had to cancel open practice, and we were not able to go and set up. But we'll still be giving away our Devonta Smith jersey, so stay tapped in for that. Gint's probably got it hanging up in his closet right now. Hopefully he doesn't try it on before we give it to one of you guys.
I bought one for myself as well.
But we will be giving that away. So all you have to do is follow, subscribe, whatever we put out. So, but on today's show, it's not going to be the longest show. There's not much going on. The Phillies are back to being consistently inconsistent, very hot and cold, up and down. Roller coaster of a season continues. We'll get into their Arizona Diamondbacks sweep in the desert. They follow that up, winning 2 of 3. Should have been a sweep of their own in San Diego versus the struggling Padres. George knows about that all too well, so we'll dive into that in a little bit. But first, guys, let's start here with the Birds. They get routed by the New England Patriots 35-0 on Thursday night. Very weird start to the game, and we're going to break it down as best as we can. And we're also going to get to the fans' reactions because you guys never disappoint. It drives me nuts, but I love every second of it with you crazy, crazy people on social media getting pissed off and booing at week 2 of the preseason. But we'll get into that in a little bit. First, guys, Jalen Hurts, late scratch. He shows up. He goes through warm-ups. He's dancing on the field. We saw the videos. We saw it on TV throughout the pregame broadcast. Everyone's ready to hopefully see at least a couple drives, maybe a quarter of Jalen Hurts in this number 1 team offense. And then Joe Flacco trots out onto the field to start the opening drive. They said he showed up, wasn't feeling well, went through warm-ups, wasn't right. He goes to the hospital. They call it a stomach infection. That's what Nick Sirianni, stomach bug, I'm guessing. He spent a couple days at home, returned to practice yesterday indoors with the team. Did you guys find that weird? Did you find that weird? Did you like, we're talking about how they canceled the open practice pretty late yesterday. Did you like how they handled that? They got 30,000 fans, 30,000 paying fans into that building. And then Joe Flacco trots out for the opening series. Did you like how they handled that? Was anything weird to you? Because in my mind, at first, I thought something more was going on than just he doesn't feel good.
Yeah, my first reaction was hoping it obviously wasn't like a COVID thing. But then maybe it was I think you actually brought it up on your Turf Talk episode that maybe it was he values these open practices more. Maybe he saw what he needed from Jalen Hurts and he doesn't want to show anything out to the, I guess you'd say, public, because it is a game essentially. So maybe that's a reason, but it's definitely something, like you said, a lot of people paid to get in there. They wanted to see Jalen Hurts at least for a little bit, and you get the ghost of Joe Flacco, who looked abysmal. So
You didn't like what you saw from Joe?
no, I mean, I had a fantasy draft during it, so it was like very spotty watching, but from what I saw, man, the Delaware Native did not look very good, huh?
No. Looked a little past his prime, and then Nicky Mullins came in and didn't look any better as well. George, what were your thoughts on the Jalen Hurts thing? Did you think it was weird at first glance? Did you like how the Eagles handled it overall?
Same thing as Gint. I thought it was COVID, like right off the bat. That scared the hell out of me. But it was just kind of weird because he's on the field, he's dancing, he's hanging out, he's passing the ball, he's doing his thing pregame, and then all of a sudden he's gone. And it's like, here comes Joe Flacco. So it was definitely suspect. I didn't know what to expect. I was thinking it was a COVID case. And then he comes out and says stomach infection. Definitely sounds a lot worse than stomach bug.
Yeah.
Like that just sounds so much worse. So don't say it like that. But it was weird. It was weird. And the paying fans aspect also does make sense. It's like you have so many people in there. They're not coming to see Joe Flacco. You know, they're coming to see Jalen Hurts for a little bit. They want to see their guys. They want to see the Hurts and Smith connection. And Joe Flacco's in, even though the whole time you expect Hurts. So it was weird. It was just a weird thing.
Yeah, I can't believe we did a raffle to give someone 2 tickets to that awful game and awful display. But I was honestly I was very nervous, not a little nervous. I was very nervous when it happened because I'm just refreshing Twitter, like waiting for one of these beat writers or national guys to break something where it is a COVID case or some type of injury they were trying to work them through and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, here we go. Like the season is all about finding out if Jalen Hurts is the guy or not. You know, I am excited to see this new look Eagles offense and everything. And we haven't gotten to see it yet. But honestly, I think, you know, I said it yesterday morning and Ginn alluded to it a couple minutes ago. I think that Sirianni truly does value those the joint practices more than the actual game reps. So I don't know. I've never had a stomach bug where I got into full pads and was dancing on the field and slinging the ball 45 yards down the sideline in warmups. And then all of a sudden, like, he's gone. And then the weird thing, he had pain in his abdomen. So it wasn't even like a stomach bug. Like he's not feeling well. Apparently he was feeling some sort of pain or pressure in his abdomen or lower stomach. It's all really weird. It was all really concerning. However, he did return to practice yesterday and participated with the first team the entire time. So I guess he is okay. I guess we could take a sigh of take a deep breath and a sigh of relief there for Jalen Hurts. Another guy who continues to scare us in practices, who got hurt again last night inside, but then came back and he was okay and was able to finish practice. Devonta Smith makes his debut in Eagles green on Thursday night. George, I'll throw this to you first. What did you see from the young kid? Obviously, you didn't have him out there with the number ones. You didn't have him out there with Jalen Hurts. He didn't have his protection out there. Joe Flacco was late getting to the ball to him. What did you see from Devonta Smith's debut?
He looks fine. And, like, I feel like everyone is overreacting. Like, you see Jamar Chase. He goes out there and he drops 3 balls that are all, like, right in his hand. Devonta Smith, 2 catches on 4 attempts, 19 yards. Like, it's preseason. He's not out there with the main guys. Devonta Smith is someone I'm just not worried about. And he's a rookie. I know a lot of people like to overreact, and especially after that game, like, the total yards was absolutely ridiculous. Like, looking at it, it's like Patriots over 400. We're at, like, 460 or something. It was ridiculous, but he's fine. He looks good. I mean, I have no worries about Devonta Smith. I feel like the lack of starters around him during that terrible, terrible game definitely played a part. Joe Flacco is not Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, yeah, we're all worried about the arm. Joe Flacco definitely has a worse arm than Jalen Hurts right now. So it's fine. It's fine.
Ginn, what did you see from Devonta Smith?
I don't have any worries about Devonta Smith. It was pretty cool to see a wide receiver get some space. And
there it is. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. So, I mean, like George alluded to, Joe Flacco is not Jalen Hurts, at least we hope. So he'll be fine. He's actually reliable, I think. This is the first time I think we've picked someone I've been like, there's no question marks. I'm not worried. This guy's a stud, and that's what it'll be.
Just having a wide receiver who can create separation somewhat easily. Again, you got to take it with a grain of salt, whether like, in the second quarter, he's probably going against the Patriots second team and third strings. But just a guy that can create separation on his own. His route running looked very crisp. Jalen Reagor's route running, Quez Watkins' route running has looked very crisp all training camp and throughout the first 2 preseason games. Maybe the attention to detail this coaching staff is instilling in these young receivers is working and paying off right now. But yeah, I agree with you guys. It's not just having no worries. You guys both said that, like, no worries, he's going to be fine, blah, blah, blah. I'm actually excited. Now, I know you got to pump the brakes. George, you said it. 4 targets, only 2 catches, 19 yards in the second preseason game, his first preseason game. You were not out here calling this kid the next coming of Jerry Rice, but just seeing the little things, seeing him put that corner on skates on that in and out route towards the sideline, seeing him get space on the slant in the quick hitter first catch, and then taking it upfield for about an 8-9 yard gain on first down. And yeah, the quarterback play, guys, like his first target. Are we joking? Joe Flacco almost got him killed. He missed him wide open for what would have been a first down, gets the ball to him late and throws it about 9 feet behind him as he tries to go back for the ball. I know it hit his hands. He dropped it. The next one hit his hands. He dropped it. But like you said, not to mention, there's a little bit of nerves. He's anxious. There's a little bit of being out there for the first time in front of 30,000 people at the highest stage. The kid's going to be nervous. Again, no worries, but I was very impressed from the little bit of action I saw from Devonta Smith. Outside of that, I got nothing else. This game was a snooze fest. Is there anything else I'm missing here that you guys want to touch on from either the defense or offensive side of things?
Dude, we were talking about like what we were looking forward for the game.
You got no answers.
I mentioned Jake Elliott. That's how bad I was stretching. He didn't even play. There was nothing to talk about in this football game, man. It was brutal.
No, dude. And go ahead.
No, you were like,
snaps the ball over his head right off the rip.
Dylan goes like, besides that, I thought you were going to say something else, and I was like, he's got more? Is there something else he's going to talk about?
Not a damn thing.
There's not a damn thing to talk about.
Not a damn. I mean, Zach McPherson got targeted. Can we talk week 0 point spread college football?
Maybe at the end.
Yeah. But Zach McPherson, Cam Newton targeted him early, guys. George, what was this a good learning curve? Was this a bad sighting for Zach McPherson? He gets the start in place of Darius Slay, across from Steven Nelson, and Cam picked on him.
I mean, when you don't have your main guys going, you're going to be put in big moments, and you never know. It's so like you never know what could happen in regular season football. Next man up mentality. He could very well be here at some point playing. So it's good for him to get torched. And now he knows what it feels like. Figure it out, kid. That's pretty much
to get torched. Gint, what do you think about it, dude? Like, is there any positive takeaway? Like, can you walk away with the mentality of, okay, he knows what it feels like now. He's going to learn. It's going to make him better. Or are you just like, ugh, like not a good outing?
I don't think there was any positive take from it. That was like when guys talk after they're retired. Like, did you ever have like a welcome to the NFL moment? Like, I don't even think you could say, yeah, I played the second string New England Patriots. They lit me up. Like, I don't have a lot of hope in Zach McPherson, Zach with an E, but maybe, like you said, this is like I need to get better moment, hopefully, but that would be it.
Yeah, man. Listen, outside of that, guys, I got nothing else. It was a rout, 35 to a goose egg. But now I want to talk about you guys, not the two of you, the rest of this fan base.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
One thing.
Uh-oh, you got something else?
Yeah, who's going to be the Eagles' backup quarterback?
That's a pretty good question.
We should go there with this segment because, dude, it's definitely not Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins he is brutal to watch.
Yeah.
Wasn't much better.
It's going to be Joey Delaware, Joey Audubon.
Because they paid him so much money?
Probably.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, look, he looked awful, guys. Don't get me wrong. And he didn't impress much in the first week of regular season. preseason. But my point is, he gets thrown out there last second with the entire backup offensive line. First snap of the game or second snap of the game, Nate Herbig sails it over his head. Patriots take over on like the 4-yard line. Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, and Miles Sanders play like the first 2 or 3 series. Joe Flacco didn't have much to work with. And the other thing I'll say is, Scotty and I touched on this yesterday. It doesn't really matter who the backup is. I know people are like, well, it is a very important position. We know that all too well. We got our first and only Super Bowl ring because we had a guy who could step in. But guess what you need around a backup quarterback for him to be effective? A really good supporting cast, right? And I'm not putting down this supporting cast here, but my point is, if Jalen Hurts is out, if Jalen Hurts misses time, it doesn't matter who the backup is because the Eagles aren't going to win games. They're not going to be very good. You're just going to lose. Yeah, I don't know, but
I think I was just more alluding to the fact, like, who is going to be number 2 on the depth chart was more my question, which you guys are probably right with the amount of money Joe Flacco got. It should be him. But, like, did you guys see the stuff for Gardner Minshew on Twitter? Like, that was brutal. Man. That was a bad take.
I want no part of Minshew. Okay. First of all, he's on the list, okay? So
I think he was the first person on the list.
Yeah, so there is no Minshew mania in Philadelphia for me. Go ahead, George.
No. I was just saying Gardner Minshew. Hell no. It would be very funny to have him in Eagles uniform, but I'm okay.
So my last thing here, talking about this Eagles Thursday night game, and it's not about the game. It's about you guys, meaning the fans that were there, the fans on social media. I know we're all craving football. We're all craving Eagles football, and it's a new regime. It's a young talent, new quarterback, new play callers on both sides. Devonta Smith. We're excited, right? Even if we don't have super high expectations, we're really excited to see what this young team can do, this new team can look like, right? The people overreacting, and I don't just mean overreacting, I legitimately saw complaining and bitching and moaning and people worrying about this team after that game. Guys, the starting quarterback was scratched about 2 seconds before opening kickoff, which then, in turn, set out the entire offensive line to not play. The 2 tight ends and the starting running back only played the first 2 or 3 series. Darius Slay did not play. The entire defensive line did not play the entire game. What are you complaining about? The fans booed them off the field at halftime. Guys, what are we doing? Week 2 of the preseason with no offensive line, no defensive line, your number 1 corner, and your quarterback. No shit, you're not going to get a good product on the field. So, did you guys see it as well? Am I just seeing a couple idiotic tweets and I'm like, they're just sticking out to me? Or did you guys see the overreaction as well? Because Jason and Scotty are saying the same thing.
No, there's a lot of bitching and mooning.
Yeah.
They booed them off the field.
Honestly, I'll give them
week 1.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Ready? I feel like as fans, especially in Philly, we want to feel something. And football's back and we're ready to react. Like, I feel like that's just how it is. I mean, obviously, there's nothing about that game that you should overreact to. Like, nothing. And nobody should be complaining. You saw the roster they put out there. You saw the starters. You saw everything that they did. There was no way we're going to win that game. The way that we lost it sucked. It's preseason. It doesn't matter. Just the overreacting is so much.
But, like, I get, like, being mad and you saw an ugly performance and they didn't score. They couldn't really move the ball. They were turning the ball over. Cam Newton and Mac Jones tore this defense up. Oh, my God, what are we going to do? What did you expect? Like, George, I get what you're saying. We just want to feel something. We just want to see something. We want to react because we haven't had it in so long. Have a single solid brain cell in your noggin, guys. What did you expect to see on the field? Did you expect Joe Flacco with the entire backup offensive line come in on the first drive or two and just march down the field and go get 7? How about that? How about when Joe's out and they bring in Nick Mullins? How about the fact that the entire Milton Williams was the best defensive lineman in that game? I'm not lying. He was the highest guy on the depth chart to play in that game was rookie Milton Williams. Your number 1 corner didn't play. A rookie had to step in and fill that role. You still don't have Rodney McLeod back, so obviously he was out. So Kayvon Wallace or Marcus Epps started there, and they split the snaps there at safety. What did you expect to see?
What's worse? Fans reacting like that to that game, or the video of Ben going viral and every single person on the timeline tweeting, "Oh, here we go again. Here we go again."
It's definitely the overreaction for me. It's the overreaction for me. I was going to see if you guys wanted to touch on that, so maybe we can for a second.
Absolutely, please.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for that.
All right, so again, guys, that's going to wrap up the Eagles portion of this show. There's nothing else to say. There is nothing to take away, nothing that you could take away from that game.
We got 20 minutes out of this. I'm amazed.
I know. It's unreal. Well, that's why I can thank our fan base, because they inspired us into that. But again, take us away, because your boy was viral over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it is a repeat. Like, it's happened multiple summers in a row. But I don't know what the Sixers fan base want. They want to trade him, right?
Yeah.
How do you trade him?
You got to make him look
Or that
like
he's working on his game. He's improving things. He's doing this. He's doing that. Gets put out on Twitter, the biggest app on the planet. All you see is complaints.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I agree with your point there too. But the other part that makes me laugh again with this fan base is, I mean, I get it. We've seen it before. We've seen them pulling up from 3 in an open gym before, and we try to fall into it every year. I remember us being in the studio last year, and we're like, are we buying into the videos of Ben pulling up? And, obviously the answer should have been no. But here's the funny part. Ben buys a house in LA. It doesn't have a basketball hoop there. He doesn't care about his game. Ben's at Wimbledon or whatever with his new girl. Ben doesn't care about getting better at his game. Ben's in the gym. Now we bitch. What do you want to see? Ben's in his pool. He doesn't care about his game. He's at a club. He doesn't care about his game. He's showing you he's in the gym trying to get better, and you're complaining. I get it. If you want to laugh because it's like, oh, well, we've seen the same thing over and over again, but then you can't complain about the other stuff. You can't complain that he's not working at his game. He's not in the gym, but then when he is in the gym, still complain. Like, what's your ideal scenario? He's in the gym, but he's not showing it. Well, he was in the gym and not showing it, but then going to Wimbledon. Just because he was at Wimbledon with his girl doesn't mean he wasn't in the gym. This fan base is amazing.
And I think the biggest thing of this is there's a half of the fan base that believes he's not speaking to the Sixers and only Rich Paul is talking to the Sixers. Well, at that point, his agency has to put out these videos because it's the only thing to show. So,
right. No, and I get it. And Jason, I think Jason is one of those people that's fed up with it. And I get being fed up with it. I'm fed up with it myself. But my point is you can't complain. I'm not saying you have, Jason. I'm not saying you've complained about his mansion, his not being in the gym. But like for the people out there on social media that are trying to troll him and are pissed off at him because he's in his pool, because he's, at a club, because he bought a new house and it doesn't have a basketball hoop. He doesn't care about his game. But then he goes in the gym and you don't want to see that either. You can't. No, there's no parallel there.
People hate Ben Simmons, and people are going to bitch about Ben Simmons literally for the rest of his career. It's just like, that's just how it's going to be with him, and it sucks. And I feel like the videos over the years, because we do see him every summer. That is true. I feel like it's gone from like, oh my God, like, look at that jumper. It looks smooth, looks good, to like now we're here, and it's like everyone is just, half the fan base screams, fuck Ben Simmons. Probably more than half the fan base now, but people are always going to find something to complain about, especially Twitter. Twitter is, for sports figures and everything, it's the easiest way to target players. It really is. It's going to happen.
Also, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Like, the Sixers fired. The Sixers.
No, go ahead. It's all right, man.
Sixers fired, like, what was it, like 20-something workers again?
Yeah.
And they even fired that one guy that Jimmy Butler was, like, boys with.
Yep.
and he was working there for like 30 plus years. And this is right after they just extended Embiid for 4 years, $196 million. Talk about not the best look.
No, wasn't it like the equipment manager or some shit too? He was there for like 3 decades or 4 decades.
Get out of my seat.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, you just come in, tell him to get out of his seat. Yeah.
All right. Let me pose this to you guys. This is gonna be fun. Because I am over it. I'm not buying into the video. It looks great, which always begs the question, where is it at when he's actually in a Sixers uniform? So again, I'll throw this to you first. I think we can agree, and I would hope that most fans can agree, even the ones that hate him so much now, that outside of maybe like getting Dame for him, right? But outside of that, having Ben Simmons back and having an improved Ben Simmons on the offensive end is the best thing for the Sixers team. I know people don't want to hear that. Like, yeah, Dame is the pipe dream, right? But if Ben comes back and he actually shows the shit he's working on and he shoots and he's aggressive and whatever and he's scoring, that's the best thing for the Sixers team, right? So, Gint, for like the third offseason in a row, are you buying in to what you saw in that video? Is there any faith you have in that Ben portrays this in an actual game?
Like that he's going to walk up and start pulling threes?
No.
Oh, okay.
But just like
that's definitely not. But I mean, I'm bought into Ben Simmons 100%. Like my ticket's been punched. But I think the biggest thing Sixers fans need to realize also is right after he dropped 42 points against Utah, and the reports came out that Doc told him that was great, but remember like what you're here to do.
Yeah.
Is all you need to know about why he doesn't shoot the ball. And don't get me wrong, because Doc hasn't been his coach, so it's not only because of that, but I mean, if you're sitting here being told like, yo, your job's not to sling this thing, then it's probably not going to happen. So unless they got together and they said, yo, this is the new direction we're in, we need you to not play in the dunker spot anymore. You're going to play in the corner, which means you need to shoot jumpers. Then, yeah, I think he will eventually. Yeah, I do.
George, how are you feeling right now? You looked defeated.
I mean, like, you know, we're all Ben Simmons guys. We've all been Ben Simmons guys, but it's just another video. It happens every summer. I'm not buying very much into it. It's fine. I mean, if he goes out there and he's more aggressive and he's scoring more and he is taking a few more jumpers, and that's fun. That's awesome. Great. If he can improve on the offensive end, that is 100% the best thing for the Sixers. It's the best thing for Embiid. It's the best thing for everybody. But I mean, not to be like negative, but yeah, we do see it. We see that video every year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens when he puts on a uniform. That's pretty much it.
You want to know what hurts the most?
What?
It's so pretty.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Pretty, dude. That's why I'm so frustrated. And Scotty called him the most polarizing figure he is to me. Because if you just freaking did it, we wouldn't want to be having this conversation. He'd be like one of the most beloved athletes in Philadelphia. He'd be up there with Joel if he just freaking did it. So, yeah. Ben, I'm begging you, bro. If you're back in a Sixers uniform this year, show it. Show a little bit of it. Because, again, I'm with you, dude. He's not going to go out there and sling it. He's never going to be a 40-point scorer. He's never going to be a 30-point scorer. He's never going to be a 25-point scorer. But he's always been around a career 16 to 18-point scorer. If he can just average 18 to 19 a game, be a little bit of a threat outside of the paint, improve from the free throw line, everything like that, yeah, that's the best case scenario for the Sixers team. Just please do it. Like, that's why I don't know. I can't figure the man out, dude. Is he just everyone calls Joel like the biggest troll, right? I feel like Ben's just a low-key troll.
Come on.
Ben's like, oh, you want to see this? Okay, here you go. Here it is in the offseason. So I don't know, man. I think we can wrap up the Ben conversation there. I don't know if it's a lack of heart. I think it's all from what you saw in that playoff series. It's all up there. That's what I wanted to wrap up by saying. Again, yeah, it's not that he's going to come out and sling it. It's just the fact that he went from, there's no happy medium with him. He's aggressive, Ben, or he's not involved on the offensive end at all. Like, no shots in 4 straight fourth quarters, 8 points in multiple times in a playoff series. Like, that's the issue. But yeah, I think the best thing overall is just for him to improve on the offensive end. That's the best case scenario, not just for him, more for the Sixers. But let's get to another depressing team. George, this I know you're going to be happy.
Yeah, depressed. Phils are hot right now, bud.
Yo, hold on. Okay, fine. Are you bought in again?
I don't think the Braves are gonna lose at all ever again. So no. I mean, like,
Really?
well,
Dude, I was so like, I just because before we came on, I knew we were gonna talk about the Phillies, so I looked up everything. Phillies are 5 games back.
Yeah, no.
The Braves play the Yankees tonight and tomorrow. Then they play the Giants. Then they play the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm. And for us, it gets easier. Like, it does get easier.
We get the Rays first, but then what's after the Rays, George?
Arizona comes to Philly.
Oh, we're getting swept.
But then it's Arizona, Washington, Miami, Milwaukee, Colorado, Chicago, and then the Mets, then Baltimore, like then Pittsburgh. Those are all series that are very winnable.
Milwaukee, literally from now, what do you know what date that goes up to? That goes up to the end of September, right? The middle of September. Okay. There are 2 tough series in there.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the Mets series is going to be tough because it's that divisional rival or whatever. But the Rays series now and that Milwaukee series in the middle of it all is tough. Outside of that, the Phillies should literally I'm not talking about sweeping every freaking series and winning like 15 in a row. The Phillies should win every single series on that list.
If you win every single
Baltimore, Washington, Chicago, Pittsburgh, who am I missing? The Mets,
Colorado, Miami.
Colorado, they should win every single one of those series. And if they do that with the Braves schedule, I'm still not out on them. They are just so freaking, Jason says it, and I know he's been saying this, they're the most consistent, inconsistent team in the MLB. And it's true. I just don't understand how you come soaring back and win. What did they win? 8 in a row? And they take the division lead, not by just like half a game. What did we get up to? 2 games? 2.5 games? And now you're down by 5, like 2 weeks later. That's hard to do when you travel to play the freaking Diamondbacks, guys. 8 games in a row, down 4.5. So, again, I'll throw this to you. Where is your... What's the word I'm trying to say here? Where is your level of positivity? What's your mentality on this team today? Because I know 2 weeks ago we were like, okay, this team's winning this division. Where are you at now?
So like I said, I was like completely out until I took a peek at the Braves schedule, and I was like you have to go through this stretch for them where it's like I said, the Yankees, the Giants, the Dodgers, and hope that you're like probably within 3 games. But like if we get to the end of the season, we miss this by like 2 games. I mean, you have to look at this past Tuesday through Saturday stretch. They went 1-4. They got swept by the Diamondbacks. They lost that game Saturday night in the most depressing way you can lose a baseball game. I was literally with my buddy, and I was like, what if Nola just lets up a bomb right here? And I'm not kidding. The next pitch goes over the wall, and they tie the game at the bottom of the 9th. And I just don't think – and I'll ask you guys this because, like, would you have kept him in? He had 117 pitches, career high. Ian Kennedy was warmed up in the pen the whole time. There's a guy on first.
Dude.
It's so tough to me because we rip him when he doesn't leave guys in. Nola throws a freaking gem. And, of course, the easy thing to do, 2 outs, 2 strikes, mind you, I'm pretty sure, when that homer went over the wall. So 1 more strike, 1 more out, and Aaron Nola throws the best game of the year, and no one's talking about him not taking him out. But to your point, a career high in pitch count, I don't know. You have your closer warmed up for a reason. Once that base runner got on, I probably would have yanked him. Until that tying run came to the plate, I would have left him in. Once that happened, I feel like I would have taken out. It's Monday morning quarterbacking. It's easy for me to say because they tied the game and then the Phillies lost. But like you said, 117 pitches. Yeah, send him out there for the 9th. As soon as the tying run gets to the plate, that's his leash for me. And I feel like that's what it should have been. And, the Phillies, they won the series, which is surprising to me after getting swept by the Diamondbacks. But it very easily should have been a sweep.
We should have swept. We
And
should have
then-
won that game.
I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. Also, Nola pitched around Tatis. I didn't really understand it because if he cranks one over the wall, you're still up by 1 run. Then he probably gets pulled after that.
Yeah.
But
That was a dumb move as well.
that was so depressing. It really
And
was.
and he had 2 strikeouts that night. Like, he struck out twice. And I haven't seen Nola. Like, I haven't seen his movement that pretty in what?
But besides probably that Dodgers
years?
game that got rained out in the 4th inning.
Dude, his stuff was moving. Like, he was on a roll. That, like, I haven't seen that Aaron Nola in so long, and seeing that, it's like, especially now, we're running into the last month of the season. If he's pitching like that, you got Wheeler, you got him, you got Gibson being absolutely amazing. He's been nothing but consistent.
Yeah, I don't see anyone really complaining about that trade anymore.
Literally, it's been perfect. Ian Kenny's been awesome.
Mention Spencer Howard. Have you guys seen Spencer Howard's numbers in his 3 starts?
Listen. We're not gonna bash Spencer Howard on this pod.
We're not.
We're not gonna do it.
We're not.
We're not gonna do it. No.
He blows.
No, he's gonna go to Texas. He's gonna end up being a beast. It's fine.
Have you seen the numbers with the the Rangers?
I have.
How late has he gotten into a game?
I think 3 1/3 maybe.
Wow, man.
His days.
Ruining Spencer.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Kyle Gibson's here and he has a 2.86 ERA.
Bullpen.
Spencer Howard works for 40 minutes every 5 days. That's a good job, dude.
And he gets tired.
It is a great trade. So yeah, you just have to hope that Nola can, even though they lost that game, even though the way it ended, him giving up that 2-run blast, you just have to hope he takes the first 8 2/3 of that game and takes that confidence level back with him. And this is where you get Nola, Wheeler, Gibson. Eflin's coming back hopefully soon. And let's get things rolling with this Braves tough schedule coming up and the Phillies easy schedule. But let me ask you guys about another roster move and about how they've handled this whole situation. Alec Boehm sent down to the AAA, George. You know I love Alec Boehm. We talk about Ben Simmons being messed up here. Alec Boehm is mentally destroyed right now. Mentally destroyed. And I can't take the way Girardi has handled it and the way the Phillies have handled it. Listen, we said that last weekend, if you're trying to win the pennant, you got to play Torreyes over him. Boehm can't play. The issue is you can't be playing him every 4 days or so. The kids, that you're going to screw them up. Now you send them down. It does no good for the kids for up here for this kid. He's mentally drained. He's mentally destroyed. He has no confidence. He can't play the field, and he looks lost in the batter's box. George, how have you felt about how the Phillies have handled it, and do you like him being sent down to AAA right now?
Okay. First of all, just to start, Alec Boehm will be fine. Like, we were talking about how we have no worries about young kids.
You are like the most confident person in struggling Phillies.
Listen, Alec Boehm, we have seen him grow up with the Phillies since we drafted him. He's done nothing but rake. His rookie year, he should have won Rookie of the Year last year. He was raking throughout the whole season. He was hitting great to start the year. He fell off a cliff. It's fine. He's young, and the move had to happen. Yes, he had to be sent down. It's fine. Like, it sucks. It really sucks that he is in the AAA at this point in the season. We expected him to be batting around, the 5 hole, just absolutely raking like he did in his rookie year.
Hey, George, you know who also used to be really good when he was –
Dominic
he got
Rail.
No. You know who was also a really good young Philly before he got mentally screwed up?
Spencer Howard.
No. Scotty Jetpacks.
Okay, but that's different. That's different because they made him switch up his swing and all. They want him to look at launch angle. He's not even a power hitter.
Hold on. So hold on. I do want to hit on this, and I'm going to throw this again because I know he's got something to say on it. I'm not overreacting to Alec Boehm. I love Alec Boehm, and I love Alec Boehm in the box when he's mentally tough. When has Alec Boehm ever showed you that he can play in the field?
Oh, never.
Okay.
Is
So
that what you're
he's
worried
such a
about?
detriment in the field.
Is that what you're worried about mostly? Like his
Yes.
It's him at the plate. He's here to hit mostly. He is not like
He has lost the Phillies. He has lost the Phillies games in the field.
I get that he's a bad defender. I get it. Like
Bad.
I'm not I am not disagreeing with you, but if he was hitting like he was his rookie season, I don't care. If he was
But
hitting,
he's not.
But he's not, and that's the thing. But he can get back to that. The hitting is no issue to me.
Right.
Just work on the fielding, and he's in his second season.
No, I'm not giving up. I'm not overreacting. I'm not giving up on Alec Boehm. What I'm saying is there are clear issues. So
Agreed.
I do disagree with the statement that Alec Boehm's fine. No, he's not. He's got some shit to work on before he's back to fine.
Did you see the video? It was like of him practice. It was like before the game.
Yes.
Dude, he was getting like baby tap ground balls. He couldn't feel him. He was like heads down. He looked like a literally, like I felt bad.
I'm not saying he won't be fine, but he's got shit he has to work on to get back to fine.
Pull up that comment about first base or DH. But that's a really interesting point.
He can't play first base either. He has to be a DH.
Stinks at first base. That's for darn sure.
Yeah,
and you have to think if there's a DH implemented, whether it's next season, the season after, Reese is going to be a DH. And is Boehm then your first baseman? Because JT is going to make the move soon eventually, correct?
No, JT cannot be a DH. We've seen that.
No, I'm talking about a first baseman.
Yes, eventually. And that's if we'll see when the DH is
Alec Boehm better figure out what's going on over there at third base.
I know. He's literally one of the worst defenders I've ever seen at third base.
Sure. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. What I'm saying is the way Joe Girardi has handled the Alec Boehm. You talked about how baseball is really hard, and you're right. My point is, if this kid's lacking confidence, you brought the video of him in warm-ups trying to field ground balls and just not getting his glove all the way down, and they're just going between his legs, and he's openly frustrated and pissed off, and it's translating to the batter's box as well. It does him no good to sit for 7 straight games, throw him in, he underperforms, sit for 4 more games, put him in as a pinch hitter, he strikes out. But like the way they've handled this has been awful. And then my point is, and then to now put him down to AAA, the move should have been made 2 weeks ago if this was the case. It's a shame. I love Alec Boehm. I went out and bought the kid's freaking jersey last year. And I think we all thought he still probably is the future at third base, but he's got to figure out the fielding thing. George, I get what you're saying. If he's hitting 300, who really cares if he's a liability in the field? He's not just a liability in the field. He's awful. It costs them
detrimental.
Games. Yes. Like Bamboo Brad, first base, detrimental. Like we saw the other night. Another guy who's been detrimental in the field and hasn't hit for shit this year. Didi Gregorius, who I was happy as all hell that they brought back for 2 years because shortstop was a glaring need. I do like Didi's bat in the middle of this lineup in that around that 6-7 hole. I thought, my God, this lineup is going to be really good. Yeah, I didn't expect Didi to bat like 211 this year, not hit for power, be consistently injured, and be a detriment in the field. So what do you do for Didi Gregorius, George? I said it last week. If you're making the move for a young kid such as Alec Boehm to not play because you're trying to win the division, so you play Ronald Torreyes every day, then you make the move to sit Didi Gregorius, an aging veteran, for Freddie Galvis when he comes back healthy.
Yeah, we got to wait for Freddie. I mean, like, because that's the thing.
Do you do that? Like, do you agree or do you disagree?
All right, so I'm very back and forth because I talked about this with Jeremy and Jack Fritz on Diamond Talk, and I was like, do you give Galvis a chance to steal that starting spot? And I know Didi's defense is it's just not good. It fell off a cliff somehow, some way. But his bat is inconsistent. It's been hot as of late, and then he has some games that just suck. Freddie Galvis is going to give you better defense, and there is a chance that he gives you better offense too.
Exactly.
Like, he has better statistics this year. I would give Freddie a chance, and not even that. Like, Freddie's he's a voice in the clubhouse. He really is. Like, he's coming back to Philly, and apparently he was so happy. Like, he was ecstatic. He's like, I'm going back to Philly. Like, am I? Like, where's my hat? Like, I'm ready. Which is crazy to have a guy that really wants to come to the Phillies. That's just weird.
Because my whole point on making the move is if you're showing that you're invested in trying to win the pennant race, because you showed that by sending down the second-year, 23-year-old promising kid for an older Ronald Torreyes who isn't going to be a part of this future. So if you're willing to risk Alec Bowen's development in order to win the division, sit Didi.
This is
sit
my
the
main.
aging veteran who isn't producing on either side in the field or in the batter's box. Freddie Galvis, Ronald Torreyes and Freddie Galvis on the left side of that infield makes a hell of a big difference. And like you said, in the past, last year, 2 years ago, yeah, you would have lost a lot in the batter's box. Dude, Didi's hitting like 215. Yeah, and he's not hitting for power. You can get 8 home runs out of Freddie Galvis.
And the thing about it is, like, our infield defense is literally at the bottom of baseball. And if you put Freddie in there, it's going to help a lot. So you got to make the tough decision, but
it ain't going to happen.
You don't think? I don't think it will either. Honestly,
Girardi's best friend's name's Didi Gregorius.
That's what I'm thinking. But also Galvis, like, yeah, he does give you so much more defensively. And that what does this team desperately need in our infield? It's defense. That's all.
Yeah, I'm with
done a lot of shit in the field this year that is make everyone cringe.
I'm with Gint. I don't think it will it should happen, but I don't think that it will happen. This team, Galvis could play center field. He could.
True.
And I know, I'm just talking from a strictly baseball standpoint here. Odubel, I would rather put Odubel in center and Freddie at shortstop just because, Odubel does have the chance to produce offensively. He does have the, he can produce offensively. Rather than what's up?
Popped off last game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He can from time to time really produce offensively. So if you put Freddie in center field, then you're still keeping Didi's defense in the game. You're still keeping 215 batting average Didi. I'd rather keep Odubel's offense in the game and put Freddie in the infield. But guys, my last point for this Phillies team today, again, you and I talked about the fact that Rhys Hoskins was going to be an X factor, if not the X factor for this Phillies team going into the season. Because of his bat, because of what he can do in the middle of this lineup. The hustle thing, yeah, it pisses me off, but he's not a liability. He produces more offensively than Jake.
Yeah, I don't think Odubel's terrible. I'm not the biggest Odubel guy.
No, neither am I. But
from a baseball standpoint, but he's not terrible.
But we see the splits now. We see how this Phillies team looks without Rhys Hoskins versus with him. He comes back yesterday, first game back off the IL, and homers twice and helps the Phillies win Game 3 in San Diego. Again, is he that much of a difference maker? Is it like it's 25 games now that he's missed? They're 10-15 without him, and I think they're like 65 to like 52 with him, something like that. I forget what the actual splits are. Is Rhys Hoskins that big of a difference maker for this Phillies team to make a pennant run?
I mean, he's definitely a difference maker. Obviously, the numbers speak for themselves, but is he going to be enough? I don't know. Like I said, if I had to predict, we'll probably miss the playoffs by like 2 games. And it'll be heartbreaking. We'll all get roped in with about 2.5. Because don't we finish the season with the Braves? I'm pretty sure we finished the season with the Braves.
It's Braves then Miami, so we're gonna get swept by Miami and miss it by 2.
That's what we'll sweep the Braves, take a 1-game lead, then get swept by Miami. It's such a tough. But
wait, real quick, are the Braves at home?
It's in Atlanta. I'm pretty sure,
and it's in Miami as well. So yeah, that's tough.
Go ahead again.
No, yes, I don't know if it's gonna be enough to win a pennant, but it's definitely. It gives you the best chance, obviously. So we'll see.
George, what do you think? Can Rhys be that X factor on this team right now? Because I don't think anyone thought that a few months ago. And you're now the numbers say it. The win column's kind of saying it. He's going to hit over 30 home runs this year. This lineup produces more when he's in there. He's not a great fielder, but he's better than what Bamboo Brad or Alec Bowen gives you at first base in the field right now. So is he really that X factor in the middle of this lineup?
X factor for the lineup, 110%. It's not even debatable. I mean, he leads the team in homers with 26. He's second in OPS behind the runner-up for MVP right now, the MVP in my heart, but we'll talk about that later. He has an 8.62 OPS. He has 26 home runs. He works counts. He walks. He gets on base for guys. His defense isn't good, great, but it's a lot better than Brad Miller, and he gives you more in the box than Brad Miller ever will. So having Reese back is huge, and I didn't expect him to come up and hit 2 homers on his first night, but kid's back. Like he's back, and we need him. We need him in this lineup badly. He's a huge guy to have at the middle of this order. It's big. It's a lot bigger than I know. People are like, I guess, up and down on Reese. It's either you love him or you hate him. I will always love Reese, but this year he's really showed it. Like he's been good. He's been fine.
He was on the chopping block, dude.
He was, but now he's at 8.62 OPS. He has 26 homers. He leads the team. Like you expect Harper to lead the team in homers at this point, but Reese is just chugging along. He keeps ripping them. So I'm so happy to have him back. It's going to be huge for this.
No, I agree. I think it's huge for this lineup. It's huge for this team as a whole. I think Reese, I always looked at him as a quiet kind of guy. I think he brings somewhat of a voice to this locker room and somewhat of a, I don't know, it's not a swagger because it's like a little awkward, but like when you just see him in the dugout, I think when Bryce crushed a ball, murdered a baseball, and you just see Reese almost literally leap over the dugout onto the field. He brings somewhat of a voice. He brings a leadership. He brings a type of swag to this team and to this lineup, and you just got to hope it continues. So, guys, before we wrap up here, what are your predictions for this race series? We just saw them take 2 or 3 in San Diego versus the Padres. The Padres are really struggling right now. Can the Phillies bring that momentum back home and take care of business versus a division-leading Tampa Bay Rays team? Ranger Suarez is on the bump tomorrow to start. George, I'll start with you.
It's Ranger Suarez, and then we got Zach Wheeler. I will never say that we're going to lose a Zach Wheeler start, and so I think we take that game. Ranger, let's just hope that he can be consistent at home. Give me 4 solid innings and then let the bullpen take over if that's what you got to do. So hopefully we sweep. I would not mind a split. That's fine with me.
Oh, right. That I missed that. I didn't know it was only a 2-game set.
Yeah, it's only 2 games, and then it's Arizona for 3.
All right, Gint. So what are you thinking? George highlighted the Wheeler starts the second game. So at least you're hoping for a split. How important is tomorrow night then to you? Like, can they go out and get that Ranger Suarez win? And now, hey, we could take both from Tampa because we got Zach Wheeler in front of our home crowd tonight.
I think they're going to go 2-0, and the Braves. The Braves are going to beat the Yankees twice because I hate the Yankees, and it's something they'll do.
You're so depressing. Like you just got
I texted my buddy, it's a Yankees fan, and said, "The Yankees lose both these games, they'll never speak to me again."
Now, are those games in New York or in Atlanta? Does anyone know?
They're in New York, I believe.
That's big.
It's huge. It's in Atlanta.
Come on, dude.
I thought it was in New York. I really did.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for everyone. Jason, Scotty, thanks everyone for commenting and joining the conversations. Thanks so much for everyone that's watching or going to watch this episode of the Phaithful Phanatics. As always, I'm your host, Dylan. The gang was back together today. Matt McGinty, my co-host, and George Ryder, a former Phaithful Fanatic who you will be appearing on the show a lot throughout this Eagle season. But before we wrap up, guys, go give DSM Media a follow on Twitter at DSM_media. Follow and like us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that follow button on Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. We're on every single social media platform. You can find all our videos there as well. And yeah, that's it. Sorry about the we were disappointed that we couldn't go and host our tailgate before the Eagles open practice yesterday. We still will be raffling off our Devonta Smith jersey, so tap in for that. Check out our Facebook and Twitter accounts. That's where you'll find all the information for that giveaway and how you can be entered for a chance to win it. For myself, for George, for Gint, for DSM Media, have a nice night and go Phils.